Welcome to the Online Success Journey Podcast, your opportunity to discover and learn from entrepreneurs like yourself. This is not your typical podcast, but a place where you can get the real story and find out how real people encounter speed bumps and detours, but journey through to find success. Now here's your host for the Online Success Journey Podcast, Patience.
Hello everyone and welcome to Online Success Journey. This is episode 319 and you'll want to subscribe right now and ensure you'll never miss a journey. The entrepreneurs that join me each week review the steps they took on their journey to success, and these steps reveal a path you can take as well. Today we have Chris Pistorius, author, podcaster, and the founder of KickStart Dental Marketing, which has constantly been listed as one of the top dental marketing companies in the country by UpCity. Hello, Chris.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. My audience are excited to hear your story, but just start by telling us one thing we are going to learn from you today that will help us on our journey to success.
I think the most value that I'll bring is how a business, whether it be a dentist or anything else, any type of small business or medium-sized business that's looking to make themselves more visible and want to be chosen online, I think I can give some valuable tips for that.
But why do you do what you do, Chris?
So I'm the founder and CEO and everything else, I guess, of KickStart Dental Marketing. We are a digital marketing agency that obviously specializes in helping dental practices bring in more new patients.
Let's put man aside. How do you know you are successful in your dental marketing?
Well, I think in our industry and in our business and the way that we focus on things, it's very results oriented. So if we measure success, if our clients are growing and they're expanding and they're doing well financially and they're happy and seeing the types of new patients that they want to.
Have you seen mistakes that other dental practice or in business in general that they are making in 2021?
Yeah, I think, coming out of COVID, in the health industry, was tough. I mean, basically every dental practice in the country shut down for at least 30 days, and a lot of them shut down for longer than that. And the mistake that I saw being made was during that time, it's very easy to look at a spreadsheet and start cutting costs, and marketing for some were on top of that list. And it wound up being a mistake because that was really a time where if you actually reversed that and was more aggressive in marketing while others kind of backed off of marketing, it allows, if you were behind your competition for a while, it would have given you the time to maybe get ahead of them and get your name out there a little bit more as your competition was kind of backing off. So we had several clients that did that, and they came out of COVID much stronger than when they came in.
Intro, you said you are an author. Did you want it to be an author?
No, absolutely not. I have no business writing books, but I did it anyway.
What made you write it?
Yeah, well, I wrote it. Oh, geez, I don't know. It's been a few years now. I'm actually working on a new edition of it. But the reason I put it out there was at the time was because I saw so many dental practices out there. And really, the book applies for any small business. I just put it around dentistry. But, I saw so many people and business owners confused by where should they spend their money online. 15 years ago, you bought an ad in the Yellow Pages, maybe did some direct mail, and that's all you needed to do, and it worked pretty well. Well, now you've got 100 different places you could go online to spend marketing dollars. And so there's a mass confusion of, where should I spend my money? What's going to get me the best results? Or some would maybe roll the dice and choose one and it wouldn't work out. And then they're like frozen because they don't want to make another mistake. So I wrote this book to kind of help you guide, the ultimate, guide to trying to untangle the web, if you will, and just giving them from my years of experience, what works well and what doesn't, for marketing.
Tell my audience about the magic moment, the day suddenly all went right for you.
Wow. Well, maybe I'm still waiting for that. I don't know. But I think, for a long time when I created this agency, I just basically created a job for myself. I didn't really create a business, right? So I worked for, at the time, I don't know if people remember AOL or Not America Online, but I worked for them for a lot of years. And I just decided to go out and start my own stuff in marketing. And for the first few years, like I said, I just, I took on a handful of clients and I did everything myself. And, it was just a job. I still, had a lot of bosses because, clients were my bosses. So I think the moment when I realized that, if I really want to make this more of a freedom thing for me, meaning I can go out and take time off and do things and, enjoy freedom. I've got to scale this business a little bit more and bring on people and, really try to take it to the next level. So I'm not the only one doing work, work more on the business versus in the business. And that was probably the moment for me. And so I started hiring people, doing stuff that I didn't really want to do anymore. And now I've got a team of, I think, 12 people. And, I really only get involved if I need to. And I'm working more on things like this and just, processes and just high level stuff.
As you mentioned, you've been in business for a long time, since 2009, and you have met many entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs. But can anyone be an entrepreneur, or are some people more cut out for it than others?
Yeah, I don't think anybody can be an entrepreneur. I think it's kind of something you're born with, right? Mm-hmm. So it takes a special type of crazy to think, quit a 6-figure job and go out and create a business with, a blank sheet of paper. And I don't think everybody's probably built for that. And, it's an interesting question because, I think, it's just in your DNA. And if you're the adventurous, creative type that really wants to build something, I think that's what an entrepreneur is. And no, I don't think it's right for everyone.
What is the secret to creating a profitable agency or a dental practice?
Great question. I think that you first, before you do anything, if I had to do it all over again, and if I had a little time, I would make sure that I had my systems in place in terms of like SOPs, like standard operating procedures, in place and tight and ready to go before I ever took on one client. And what that does is if you have really good, tight SOPs, processes, procedures, you can really run a business very efficiently and scale quicker, which will lead to quicker profitability. So that's probably the biggest thing that I would do different. And once we got that stuff into place, and honestly, it's a work in progress. We're always working on it. But once we got that into place, that's really was the key to profitability.
What are you still doing in the way you work that you just know you have to stop doing?
Yeah, so a few years ago is probably going to be the best example of this, and I was very involved in fulfillment. So somebody would sign up with us for a dental practice would sign up, and we might be doing search engine optimization. Maybe we're creating a new website for them. Maybe we're doing, online review management where we're trying to get better reviews for them online. And so I had my hands dirty with that stuff. I was like the one setting up the SEO campaigns and, like typing out the emails. And at one point, I'm just like, what am I doing? I'm number one, I'm really not that good at it. Why don't I go hire somebody that's going to be much smarter than me and can get this done much more efficiently? So, I think anything involved with fulfillment. And also, the second biggest hire for me was what we call client success managers. And these are people that really take care of our clients. They're the first line of defense, their first line of communication. And I'm not really good at that. It's got to be somebody that's really good with detail and follow up. And I let some things go through the cracks, so I got out of that pretty quickly too.
Wow, thank you for sharing. What do you mean by reputation marketing?
Yeah, so basically what I mean by that is that, and this again applies to any small business out there or local business, is that, people can leave reviews for you online, Google, Yelp, in dentistry, health grades, Facebook, those are the big ones, but there's like 100 other sites where people can leave reviews for a business. So we put together a system that allows, it's a system that reaches out to our clients' patients after they do a visit and asks them basically, based on your visit today, would you recommend us? And it's a yes or no question. And if they click yes, then we politely ask them and make it very easy for them to leave a review on Google or Facebook or Health Grades or somewhere to get that feedback. So it helps our clients get more great online reviews on the web, because it is a huge part of being chosen as a dental practice.
What is the most dangerous belief an entrepreneur can have?
The most dangerous, I think, probably is just the fear. I think that's the most dangerous thing, is you can get caught up in the fear and the what ifs and all of that, and you can kind of get your head in the sand and not do much about it. So I think probably the most dangerous thing is just doing nothing.
What is one thing that has contributed to your success?
I think probably my desire to not fail. So just, I'm a big believer, and there's nothing wrong with failing as long as you fail fast. Because if you fail fast, then you can make changes and get it right. So I think probably just knowing and being just so stubborn that I won't allow this thing to fail. And the last 12 years, we've been on a great run, knock on wood. And I think a lot of that just has to do with me being stubborn and not allowing us to maybe downsize at all.
Tell us what a small business or a practice can do on their website to increase conversation.
Yeah, I think whatever you can do to be unique. If you're in an industry and not just dentistry where there's a lot of competition, and there certainly is in dentistry, anything that you can do to be different is what I recommend. Obviously you've got the standard stuff, like make sure you have a good call to action. Make sure you have inviting photos. Make sure you have great copy. That's all certainly a lot to do with it. But do something, make somebody an incredible offer, or, we do press releases for our clients and we get those published on major networks like CBS and Fox and Clear Channel. And we can put on websites, hey, our practice has been featured on CBS, for instance. That's something that looks different. A lot of dentists don't do that. So anything that can make you a little bit unique. So when we take on a client, one of the first things we really try to talk about is, what is your unique selling proposition, right? So why should somebody choose you versus the 20 other dentists maybe on your block, right? And we really start to tell a story behind that. And if you can tell that story, it's not easy to do, but if you can tell that story on the front page of a website, that is going to really make you stand out from your competition, and it's going to make people want to kind of raise their hand and get more information.
What is the most valuable thing you have ever given away?
Wow, that's a good one. Back when iPads first came out, I gave away an iPad, and it was back in the time where they were even hard to buy because you couldn't find them in stock anywhere. Well, I got lucky and I bought like 5 of them, and I gave one of those away, and it was like, it worked awesome. I got tons of people trying to win it. So I think that's probably the biggest thing.
Is Facebook ads still working in 2021?
Absolutely. Better than ever, in my opinion. There's a lot of controversy out there now that, they've stopped, with the latest Apple update where it's restricted, tracking and things like that. But Facebook ads continue to be for us, one of the best drivers of not just branding a dental practice or any business, but also getting, direct leads too. So you got to look at it 2 ways. Facebook is like buying a billboard, right? Because you're blasting your message out to people that are in a certain demographic region, maybe a 25 to 34-year-old female with 2.5 kids and a golden retriever, right? So that's the target you can go after, much like a billboard. But with this billboard on Facebook, only the people that you want to see it are going to see it. So it can be very powerful, and you can blanket, a local market relatively inexpensively and get your name out there. But you'll also at the same time catch people that are ready to go to the dentist. And those will be the people that will take action. And Google, on the other hand, is more of a, we can get people that are more ready to buy because we can target certain keywords like, how much are dental implants, or I have a toothache, where can I go? Dentist near me, stuff like that. And these people typically have their credit cards in hand ready to buy. And that's a very different, set of eyeballs. So when you can blend both of those strategies together, and you know what you're doing, and you know what you're doing with the campaigns and how to set them up, it can be extremely powerful. But absolutely, Facebook ads are very effective.
What about email marketing?
Yeah, we've seen a decline in email marketing in terms of it being effective for us. Now, remember, we're going after consumers for our clients, right? So, with dentistry, it's not, you don't typically get a lot of cold emails from dental practices trying to get you to sign up, right? So, but I'm part of a mastermind group that there's a bunch of different agencies like mine, and we all get together every quarter and talk about what's working, what's not, things like that. And for other industries, whatever, I've been hearing that email open rates and just email marketing as a whole just hasn't been as effective. And I think there's a few reasons for that. People are filters are getting better. So a lot of emails are going to spam. I think people are just tired of it. And what I'm actually seeing is that more people are now reverting back instead of email marketing to direct mail. Because now, since email marketing came out, people kind of have reduced direct mail. And so when you open your mailbox now, it's not quite as jammed full as it used to be of offers and people trying to sell you things. So now we see some marketers actually trying to take advantage of that and going back the direct mail route.
What about the social media marketing? Where do you see the future?
Yeah, so we're testing right now some advertising like on TikTok, places like that, Snapchat, kind of the newer apps. And, it's a little ahead of its time for us right now with dentistry. But if you think back a few years when Facebook started, it was mostly for the younger generation too, like TikTok and Snapchat is now. But look at it now, it's more like for people like me, 46 years old and, trying to keep up with somebody they went to kindergarten with 35 years ago. So I think that's where social media is going to head. I think the audiences for these newer platforms are going to get a little older. And I think there's going to be somebody come up with something else in the next few years that's going to be like the next Snapchat or Twitter or whatever it may be. If I knew what that was, then, I'd probably be way ahead of the game, but I have no idea.
Keep searching.
Yeah.
What grounds you?
What grounds me? Probably my family. I've got 2 kids. One's getting ready to head off to college, actually in a couple weeks. And my son is going to be 13 years old soon. So my wife, Michele, we've been married for, oh boy, I hope she's not listening. I think 19 years. So
you better get it right.
Yeah, I'm close, I know. But so that's probably what grounds me. And, I'm very involved in like my kids' sports. They were both involved in sports and still are today. And I help coach a team. And, I think between family and friends, that probably keeps me pretty level set.
In your business, do you have a mentor?
Yeah, I do. And I'm the type of person that really, you wouldn't think would have a mentor, right? Because I'm kind of like I don't trust a lot of people. But, his name's actually Josh Nelson. I'll throw his name out there. And I told you about that mastermind group that I was a part of where a bunch of different agencies like mine get together and swap ideas. Well, he's the one that kind of put that all together, and he's the leader of that mastermind. And he owns an agency. His agency helps with HVAC and plumbers. But he built a multi-million-dollar agency doing that. He put together kind of this mastermind group, and it's been great. And I really follow a lot of what Josh has put together in terms of how to grow an agency and how to get great results for your clients.
What is the most valuable thing your mastermind group has told you?
Okay, that's an easy one. So he was a big believer at the time, and this has been many years ago. We took on any type of client there was. We didn't have a niche like dentistry. We just took on anybody we could. And his teachings were, you've got to stop that. You've got to really focus on one vertical because you'll become that expert in that vertical. Clients will like that much better because you're knowledgeable there. But there's also a lot of benefits of really focusing on one particular industry. And that's probably the biggest piece of advice that I took from him.
What is one thing no one knows about you?
Oh, geez. Well, if I told you, then everybody would know about it.
You'll create something in you.
I don't know. I'd probably that I play. I don't know. Probably that I played college baseball, I guess would probably be. Now I'm old and out of shape, so nobody'd probably realize that.
Thank you for sharing. What is the most important question to ask someone who has bought from you?
I think probably results. How have your results been? Our mantra is kind of, let's leave people better off than when we met them, right? So whether somebody's just killing it and it doesn't have room for more patients and they decide to leave us or whatever it may be, we always want to ask in that exit interview is, how did we do? How were your results? When we met you, you were doing, 20 new patients a month and, maybe $500,000 in annual revenue. Now you're at 40 new patients and doing $1 million. So that's probably the most important.
Tell us how we can use a video effectively to promote our business.
Yeah, I'm a big believer in video. I do my podcast actually every week is a video podcast too. And what we like to do and what we like to have clients do, and I think the most valuable part of video is you can do a video, like say this podcast, for instance, if we were doing video, and there's a bunch of great content here. So what we like to do is we like to chop that video up into smaller segments, and then we can use those smaller segments as like social media posts. We even create video ads on Facebook with them, and they've been super powerful. But video testimonials too. We're getting ready to release a new product that's going to, it's part of our online reputation service where we send them a link, basically. They tap on it and they can actually, it shows them exactly how to do it. It's very easy, how to leave a video review for the dentist. And video reviews are way more powerful than just, a regular text review like on Google or something. So I think there's a lot of creative ways you can really get with video, and I think the sky's the limit for it.
Let's talk about your business. Tell us more about it.
Well, my business is really around results, like we talked about before. Our sales pitch, if you will, if we really have one, is, we're a boutique agency, right? So there's 10 or 12 of us that work here. We only take on a certain number of new clients every year. We do that on purpose because we don't automate anything. We don't cut corners. Everything is done from scratch. It's done by hand. And in my opinion, anyway, if you're going to do marketing, that's the way you do it. Because once you start trying to automate things and cut corners, you're just not going to get the results that you want. And we built this business around knowing that there's no silver bullet. There's no magic bullet that all of a sudden you do this and, you're getting 500 leads a day from the internet, right? It's when you do a lot of different things right consistently is when you'll get the best results. And the only way to be able to build a scalable agency is to do it with human beings, doing things by hand and just taking their time and making sure that the quality of work is huge. So my business is all around that. So think of that as being kind of the engine. And then the exterior of that engine is, KickStart Dental Marketing.
And where can we find your business and how can we connect with you?
Yeah, the easiest way is just to go to kickstartdental.com. And there's a lot of great resources there. I've done, there's tons of podcasts that I've done with leaders in the dental industry talking about how to grow a dental practice and cool things to do. If you're a dentist and you're looking for help, there's a schedule a free strategy session button. I do all the strategy sessions myself. So if you want to learn more about your practice and where we see it in terms of marketing, sign up for one and there's no cost, no obligation, and we'll definitely go through that.
Oh, thank you. There will be more from Chris in a moment. If you are listening to this on a podcasting platform and you are encouraged by Chris's journey, please go to our website at onlinesuccessjourney.com. The site has tons of audio clips from hundreds of successful entrepreneurs, guests' journeys, all there to help you find a path to your own online success journey. The site offers exclusive members-only content, and you can join absolutely free and be part of this amazing online success community today. Check it out. That's onlinesuccessjourney.com. Now, Chris, I would love for you to share more with my audience if you're up for it.
Sure.
Thank you. Do you watch movies or read books?
I unfortunately watch more movies than I read books, for sure.
Tell us, what is your favorite movie that has some relevance to being an entrepreneur?
Okay. So it's not necessarily a movie, although they did turn it into a movie, but the movie wasn't that great. It was, it's Entourage, actually. It was an HBO series for a long time, and I know that has nothing to do about business really, but there was something about it because if you've seen the show, the guy that's the actor's manager runs an agency, right? And I really thought it was cool, just the way that agency ran and, how I don't know, it's hard to explain, but for whatever reason, that TV series is really what got me going.
If your business was down to its last $100, how would you invest it?
Lottery tickets? No, I'm just kidding. $100. You know what? I would probably take that $100 and fill up my gas tank because that's about what it costs now. And I would drive to every dental practice that I could and talk to as many people as I could in person, as long as they would let me with COVID going on, and just try to tell them, how great we are and how much value we could bring to them. Because that's really how I built this business from the beginning. It wasn't Facebook ads. It wasn't Google ads. It was me just knocking down doors and, showing them some passion and why they should trust me. And, I think that that's probably what I would do.
What is the best business book you have ever read?
E-Myth Revisited is the best one for me. And I almost put it down when I started reading it because I didn't think it applied to me. But it's a book about how to, and I'm sure a lot of people listening have already read it and they're nodding their heads yes, but it's about how to build a business and systems and processes and how to build a business based on a franchise model, even though you're not a franchise, and how to work, on the business versus being the technician that works in the business.
If you are going to keep a note to yourself in your pocket every day, what would be written on it?
Ooh, you're good at this. I got to think about this in a second. Mm-hmm. I think it'd probably be whatever it takes, because that's kind of my personality, right? I talked about being stubborn about failing, and it's fine to fail, but to fail fast. But I think that, Mark Cuban is another mentor of mine, even though I don't know him. But, he's got that personality like mine a little bit, where it's like, whatever it takes, knock down doors, whatever you've got to do to be successful is what you've got to do to run a business. And so I think that's probably what I would put on it.
What is your next chapter?
That's a great question. I've flirted around with the idea of maybe opening another agency in a different niche. I'm a big animal lover, so I've always wanted to maybe start a marketing agency for veterinarians. But I just haven't, I've even built a brand, I've got it ready to go. It's going to be called Leader of the Pack Marketing. But I just haven't got around to do it because, quite frankly, this dental stuff is keeping us pretty busy, and I'm just not quite ready to release it yet.
Do you feel like you succeeded or like you're only on the way?
What's crazy about that is I've been asked that before, and I'm still as anxious now as I was 12 years ago when I started the business with a blank sheet of paper and no money in my bank account. And I think that's a good thing, right? Because I think that's, you can never be satisfied. And that can be a curse too, because if that bleeds over to your personal life, which it has with mine, we're just never being satisfied and always trying to do better and drive to do better and not being able to kind of relax and take the pressure off a little bit. It can be bad on the personal side of your life, I believe. But on the business side, as long as you keep that drive and you're never satisfied and you want to keep going and you want to keep growing responsibly, I think it's a major attribute, with growing a business.
Will you ever stop?
I don't know. Somebody asked me about that, and we've been close actually a couple of times too. We've been approached by people wanting to buy our agency. And, while it's flattering, I'm kind of on the other side of that. I'm thinking about, what the heck would I do? Right. Because, it sounds good to be able to retire and, maybe play golf or do whatever you want to, but I think I would go crazy. I'm not the type that can just sit around and do nothing. So, I think right now I'm happy in doing what I'm doing, and it's fun, and it challenges me. So, I don't see myself stopping anytime soon.
Remind us how we can connect with you once more.
Yeah, just go onto the interweb and go to KickStartDental.com.
Chris, it's been great to have you here to share your online success journey with us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Remember, success is a journey. Don't wait. Let's start the journey. Patience and Chris.
This is not the end of the journey. We hope you've enjoyed listening to Patience and her guest, and want you to know there are hundreds of episodes available at onlinesuccessjourney.com. Patience would like to thank you for listening to the podcast, and she has a free gift for you on her website, including an audio compilation of her guests' best tips, uplifting stories, and even a bit of fun. Additionally, there are special clips of over 250 episodes that have never aired on the podcast, and they're only available to members of the Online Success Journey. Check the website and click on Join Now to get free and instant access. Of course, you know that listening to the journeys of others helps each of us chart our own path. So make sure you're subscribed on your favorite platform to be notified as each new interview is posted. There are so many ways to stay connected to the Online Success Journey and listen in. And if you're enjoying the podcast, we appreciate your help in telling others. One of the best ways to share the benefit you get is to rate and review the podcast at iTunes and other sites. We appreciate your help and your willingness to share your journey. One last thing. If you're feeling a bit lost or overwhelmed on your own journey, Patience can help. Check out her course on clarity while you're at the website. Finding clarity is a great way to get back on the right path. On behalf of Patience, and until next time, thanks once more for listening. It is our hope that this podcast will guide you on your own online success journey.